Doing. So I wanted to bring to your attention some research I've been doing. There's been a lot of talk about negative interest rates. Is the U.S. potentially going that way? Can rates go to zero? All these things that I've not seen in my investing career. So one of the things I try to do is I try to research and read about, has this ever happened elsewhere? And what has been kind of the impact, so we can learn from it. And I do this obviously because I'm trying to see if I can figure out the chessboard so that I could move strategically through that kind of environment. So if you think negative interest rates are coming, one of the things you could do is you can check out Europe, and I would argue checking out Germany specifically would be the place to look at. So I have done just that. So if you don't know this, Germany is had negative rates for a while now. They've actually just had a Fed meeting, or their version of a Fed meeting, and went further negative. They've had other what we would call quantitative easing going on, and now it's they can already start to report what is happening. So again, Germany's economy is slowing. They've already had a quarter of negative growth. It takes 2 quarters to call a recession. It's pretty clear that they're going to be in one, as today, I believe, is the last day of Q3. So we will soon hear that Germany is officially in a recession, which marks the largest economy in Europe, and likely the rest of Europe is in or just starting a recession as well. So that's what's going on. That's why they have negative rates. So why do you go negative, right? Because essentially you're really trying to incent investments, right? You want to stop people from saving, right? If you borrow $100, you get paid back 99, right? In theory, that's negative interest rates. So that's what they're trying to do is they're really trying to they're punishing savers, right? So the question is what's really happening, and so far what has happened is they haven't unlocked business spending. Businesses are still not spending even with these low rates. Consumers are not spending, and this is what happens in recessions. Is it really doesn't matter. People just conserve. They sit on their credit cards. They don't spend, and it becomes a self-building prophecy. But again, as a channel dedicated to real estate investing, what has happened to hard assets or real estate in general? And even in a slowing economy, real estate has been on fire. Article was written by CNN Business by, let me see if I get her name right, give her credit, Hannah Ziady, Ziady. Sorry, Hannah, if I mispronounced it. Actually, I know I mispronounced it, so I apologize. But really, she did some research on Europe looking at unaffordability and price increases. And what's happened with negative interest rates is hard assets, specifically real estate, has gotten a lot more valuable, right? There wasn't any talk in here about rents, but the fact that values are up and accelerating is interesting, and that's a chess move for us, who if we own rental properties, if we're a landlord, right? So basically, the story is if rates continue to drop, at least in the example of Europe, hard assets, because people are chasing yield and security, will go up in value. So, right, if you think rates are going to be going lower, and if we go to zero or negative in the next couple of years, as some people are predicting, the good thing to do is buy assets today that are indexed for inflation, that are protected, that you can lock in rates, because you can get some artificial bump in appreciation. And again, if you read this book, you can hear about an investing time for us in '08 where the market was inflated artificially, and we took advantage of it, right? We did some 1031 exchanges, and we moved all the capital out, all the profit out into apartment buildings, and we're sitting pretty. So again, if the market is getting set up where single family homes are going to be on a tear for the next couple of years because rates are going down and people are chasing yield, I look at the chessboard and go, okay, if I want to invest ahead of that, I should pick up a couple more houses. I should finance them right and be conservative, all the things that I talk about on this channel. But maybe I should hold a few more because, again, if I can get an artificial bump in somewhere between 2 and 4 years when rates go to zero or negative, why not, right? So That's what I'm doing. That's the research I've done. Again, article by Hannah from CNN Business was very interesting, talking about Europe, Munich, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, all these places that have the euro and are with negative rates. Kind of the only winner in the economy are people who own properties. Now in Europe, not a majority of the folks don't own the properties, but it's very clear that property values are going up. People are storing wealth and bidding up prices for stuff that goes on sale. So again, this is a possible chess move. Europe is not America's. I get it. It could happen totally differently. Absolutely. However, I think it makes total sense that when interest rates go down and you can't get yield in the bank, one of the good things to buy is real estate. So that's what I found. The great question is what happens when rates finally go up? Again, we'll be following Europe and specifically Germany when that happens, but we're probably a few years away from that. But it's going to be interesting. So I thought you found that interesting. Have a great